Many people try to limit sugary snacks and desserts when managing their blood sugar. But what often goes unnoticed is that certain everyday foods, some of which don't even taste sweet, can cause even sharper and faster spikes. This happens because blood sugar response isn't just about sweetness. It's about how quickly your body digests and converts carbohydrates into glucose, how processed the food is, and how it interacts with insulin once it enters your system. What makes the situation even more confusing is that these foods are often seen as harmless staples, things people eat daily without thinking twice. Before we continue, I'd like to tell you about Diacylon, a powerful blend of 13 natural ingredients, each carefully selected for their proven ability to support healthy blood sugar levels, enhance insulin sensitivity, and promote overall wellness. You can read more on diacylon.com. When you start paying attention to how the body actually processes them, it becomes clear that controlling blood sugar requires a broader understanding than simply avoiding desserts. Many people who think they're eating clean or healthy unknowingly consume items that behave almost like pure sugar once digested, leading to unexpectedly high glucose levels, sudden energy crashes, and increased cravings shortly after eating. One of the biggest offenders is white bread. Despite its mild, non-sweet taste, white bread is made from refined flour that has been stripped of fiber, nutrients, and the grain's natural structure, leaving behind a rapidly digestible starch. Without fiber to slow the breakdown, your body converts this starch into glucose at remarkable speed, often leading to a surge in blood sugar within minutes. Some white breads have a glycemic index even higher than table sugar, meaning your blood absorbs their glucose faster than it would from many sweet foods. The soft, fluffy texture that many people enjoy is actually a sign of how easily the bread breaks apart in the digestive system, allowing glucose to enter the bloodstream almost immediately. Eating a simple sandwich or toast in the morning might seem harmless, but for many people, it triggers a spike that sets the tone for unstable energy throughout the day. Over time, regular consumption can make your body more insulin resistant, forcing the pancreas to work overtime to handle each carbohydrate-heavy meal. Next on the list is instant rice, particularly the pre-cooked or quick-cook varieties found in many households for convenience. To achieve fast cooking times, manufacturers partially cook and process the rice, breaking down its natural structure and removing what little fiber the grain might have had. This processing makes instant rice incredibly easy for the digestive system to break down, causing a rush of glucose into the bloodstream far more rapidly than traditional whole grain rice. Many people choose instant rice thinking it's a healthy, quick alternative, but its glycemic impact can be surprisingly high, sometimes exceeding even that of sugary snacks. Once eaten, instant rice digests almost like pure starch, causing a sharp insulin response that can leave you feeling hungry again shortly after finishing your meal. Because the blood sugar spike is so sudden, it can contribute to long-term metabolic issues, especially when combined with other high-carb foods like sauces, breads, or sweetened beverages during meals. Another surprising food that spikes blood sugar more than sugar itself is the potato, especially baked, mashed, or processed forms made from high-starch varieties. Potatoes naturally contain fast-digesting starches, but when cooked in certain ways, these starches become even more accessible to the body. A large baked potato, for example, can raise blood glucose levels more rapidly than spooning sugar into your coffee, which shocks many people who assume that natural foods are always gentler on blood sugar. The fluffy interior of a baked potato means the starch is broken down with minimal effort, practically flooding the system with glucose. Mashed potatoes can be even worse because the mechanical mashing breaks the starch down in advance, making digestion even quicker. Without healthy fats, proteins, or fiber to slow the process, potatoes can cause enormous glucose swings, leading to energy crashes, increased appetite, and a cycle of overeating. The fourth item that tends to catch people off guard is breakfast cereal, especially refined cereals marketed as healthy because they contain whole grains, are labeled as low-fat, or include added vitamins. Despite clever packaging, many cereals are essentially finely ground grains that digest almost instantly once eaten. Even those with moderate sugar content can produce blood sugar spikes comparable to or worse than sugary snacks because the carbs break down so quickly. The crunchiness of cereal tricks people into thinking it's wholesome, but in reality, the processing involved in creating those small, uniform flakes or puffs significantly increases their glycemic impact. A bowl of cereal can cause a sudden rise in blood glucose, followed by a drop that leaves you feeling tired, hungry, and craving more carbs, creating a blood sugar roller coaster effect that lasts throughout the day. This makes many cereals one of the most misleading breakfast choices, especially when eaten alone with low protein or low fat milk. What ties these foods together is not sweetness, but processing, starch structure, and the lack of fiber or protein to slow digestion. When foods are broken down too quickly, the pancreas must release large amounts of insulin in a short time to manage the sudden glucose load. Repeating this cycle frequently can lead to chronic fatigue, increased hunger, weight gain, and eventually insulin resistance. Many people who struggle with afternoon crashes or unexplained cravings don't realize that their breakfast or lunch choices are the underlying cause. Over months or years, these constant spikes can stress the metabolic system, making it harder for the body to maintain stable glucose levels and increasing the risk of long-term health issues like prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. The good news is that you don't need to eliminate these foods completely from your diet. Instead, you can learn how to balance them effectively. Combining them with protein, healthy fats, or high-fiber vegetables significantly slows the digestive process and prevents glucose from entering the bloodstream all at once. Choosing whole or minimally processed alternatives, such as whole grain bread, brown rice, or lower glycemic potato varieties, can dramatically improve your blood sugar response. You can also replace breakfast cereals with options like oats, chia seed pudding, Greek yogurt, or eggs, which provide more stable energy and reduce cravings later in the day. Even modifying cooking methods, like cooling potatoes or rice before eating them, can increase resistant starch and help minimize spikes. Another important strategy is paying close attention to portion size. Even high glycemic foods are more manageable in smaller quantities, and pairing them with balanced meals helps your body regulate the release of glucose more effectively. Practicing mindful eating, slowing down during meals, chewing thoroughly, and avoiding heavy carb foods on an empty stomach also supports balanced blood sugar levels. Staying active after a meal, even with a short walk, can significantly help the body process glucose. These small lifestyle adjustments can add up, giving you much more control over your energy levels and overall health throughout the day. Ultimately, understanding how these everyday foods affect your blood sugar gives you more power than simply avoiding desserts or sweet snacks. Once people start tracking their meals and noticing patterns, they're often shocked to discover that foods they believed were safe actually cause the biggest glucose jumps. By becoming aware of these hidden triggers and making thoughtful changes, you can maintain stable energy, reduce cravings, improve mood, and support healthier long-term blood sugar control.